Down under, yeah. By the way, we have a friend here today. Hi, Toby. She is feeling a little bit lonely, I guess. She needs some extra attention. Don't you? Don't you? Yeah. Actually, she's mostly interested in what I have right here. I got my food. I haven't finished eating my lunch. We're here. You know what? We're here. We're live. I hope everyone's having a good day today, a good Monday. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Sorry, I'm gonna be eating. I have to eat. I haven't eaten anything yet today. Yeah, mukbang stream. How's it going, Refly? I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Your project should contain a never-ending research phase. Yeah, I guess. I mean, you're right. Like, we should always research. So my question of the day is, have you ever gotten stuck in the research phase of a project? I feel like I always get stuck in the research phase. Like, I want to do a new project, and I research everything that's required. Here, I'm going to turn the music down. The music's a bit too loud. Okay, that should be better. Anyways, the amount of research that things require is like, ugh. I went to the art supply store today to buy the stuff for my little sculpture, which, yes, we're going to be building the mold this week, hopefully. It's not fully dry yet. Here, I'll show you. I'll bring this sculpture over so you can see. It's mostly solid, so I'm not afraid of it breaking or anything. Although, maybe I should be. So, we got our little thing here, but if you look on the back, you see this darker. That means the clay isn't dry yet. So I flipped it over on the other side. Is the first time you've seen this dress on stream? Oh, well, I don't wear it that often. Not that I've seen it off stream, by the way. I usually wear this in the summertime, but I don't know. I feel like wearing it today. One of my friends said it makes me look like a sexy bandana, so take with that what you will. Because it's got the bandana pattern on it, I guess. Anyways, I get all my dresses from TJ Maxx. Like it's not a secondhand store, but it's a store where all the other stores send their unwanted clothing or their unsold clothing. So, and I feel like I find some gems there. I'm not buying $300. I'm not spending $300 on a dress. I'm spending $30. Hi, Tobi. She's doing some investigation. Sorry. I promise we're gonna have actual cool stuff going on the big camera. But for now, I guess you just get the top side of Tobi. Anyway, so I'm waiting for the rest of it to dry. It's very important that it becomes fully dry before doing it. And I went to the art store and got some supplies. However, I realized that I got incorrect supplies. So I'm like, because it takes like 30, well, the whole process of going to the store and coming back takes probably at least an hour, right? Because it takes like 10 minutes to drive there, a few minutes to walk in, and then like several minutes to do some research and look at all the different materials. And then I asked the store, so there was a goth girl as the store clerk. She did not have time to talk to me, but I wanted to talk to her. And you know what? I crumble when there's somebody who has very strong energy and intimidating energy. Did you give her my number? No, I literally was stumbling over my words the entire time I tried to talk to her. I was like looking at the floor and shit. I can't look people like that in the eyes. Like, I just can't. It's too much. So yeah, I was intimidated by the goth girl in the store. I feel intimidated by strong women. What can I say? Maybe it's like a crush thing. I don't know. But, yeah. So I was like asking her, no, I don't know. Like, suddenly I lose all of my ability to form sentences. And the intimidation is the best part. I know, yeah, no, I can definitely see the appeal, Eris. Hi, Eris, by the way. We're talking about, I went to the art supply store to get stuff to seal this. And then, so I was like, can you please help me find the, I don't know what works. I actually have no idea what I'm doing. I always pull out the, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I feel like with a lot of Utah people, they hear that and they're like, oh, okay, I'll help you. You know, like, it's common for Utah women to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what's going on. And that's just like the social exchange that happens. But with this girl, she was like, I don't know. She was like, it was almost like a, really? You don't know what you're doing. What are you doing here then? And I was like, oh my God. Okay. So anyway, I got some supplies, but I think I got the incorrect supplies because I genuinely don't know what I'm doing. So that's what this has to do with the question of the day. Getting stuck in the research phase, because there's so many variables at play, and I like to investigate all the different variables. You know, like I want this art project to be sustainable, as much sustainable as it can. You know, the climate is something I really do care about, and I don't want to have any wastage. I don't want to use anything that's going to create microplastics, right? Okay, so I'm keeping that in mind. But like, it's hello, Duncan. Hi. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're going to start the next step soon. It's still, if you look on the underside, you see it's cool how there's like the little shadow here on the back. By the way, you guys, Duncan had an absolutely hilarious stream. I can't remember if it was on Friday or Saturday, but like, oh my God, I was watching it. He played this FMV game where he was dating 5 different Korean women, and I just had an absolute blast. I've been watching the VOD because it's just like so entertaining. So, did I use tantric? Listen, it's all about the materials, okay? I need to make sure I have the absolute perfect materials. And the goth girl did not help me out. I don't think she... Okay. Listen, I would love to embody goth girl energy, where it's like... we both don't really know what we're doing. Like, she doesn't know anything about ceramics. However, she doesn't let that slip. Like, she doesn't say, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing. She's just like, oh, you could try this, or you could try this. How about you figure out what you need for your project? And that's her way of like, it's like all about a power imbalance. You know, I'm reading into this way too much, but you know what? It's fun. I love overthinking. Does anybody else love overthinking social interaction? Is it just me? Or, you know, like so I need to think about how I can embody goth girl energy in my life, because we were talking about this last week about how like you manifest what you want other people to perceive you as, right? So if you are constantly saying things like, I don't know what I'm doing, if you're portraying that energy of like, I don't know what's going on, I don't have confidence, I don't like insecurity, not making eye contact, all these things together, people pick up on that and they don't take you seriously. And you know, most of my life I've been really frustrated with how I feel like people don't take me seriously, and I realized that it's not because there's anything wrong with me. Like, I am somebody who deserves respect and to be taken seriously. But I didn't realize that part of that responsibility is mine. I need to portray myself in a certain way that commands respect and attention in the way that I want. I need to manifest what kind of attention I want. I'm realizing that now. And maybe it's, you know, a reply asked Duncan, I simply have to know, are your nipples currently revealed like they were on your stream? My nipples are covered, it's too cold. Yeah. I think Duncan lives somewhere where the storm is hitting pretty hard, so no, you better keep those nipples concealed and shielded from the elements. Yeah. No, you guys, Duncan takes really good care of his nip. He literally has he literally has his own brand of nipple butter. There's an advertisement for it and everything. I mean, it's amazing. So, hopefully it's summer soon. Duncan said, I'm a firm believer in harnessing your superpower. Margaret Mead says we wear many hats. In every situation, a different hat. That's like an alter ego. It all makes sense. Ah, yes. In every situation, a different hat. Right. And, you know, sometimes the more I think about this, the more I wonder, like, oh, am I like making different personalities to please different people? And I think that's a little bit different. I think that at the end of the day, it just depends on what you want from people, what you want to bring in. And you need to study, like, you need to study what will bring the attention you want. There's nothing wrong with wanting attention or wanting to be respected, as long as, What has she said about nipple covers? Okay, you guys, I have a video to show. I'm actually, okay. So we're gonna talk about art for a bit more, and then we're gonna play Mahjong. So we're not finishing the art project today. Sorry, we're later in the week when this is dry, and when I get the sorry, I turned the music off. I got the inappropriate art supplies. I got Mod Podge, which I thought would work, but I'm reading more research on Reddit and about how, like, that material will form it'll make it really tacky, and that's not what I want. The thing is, the reason why I'm having to do so much research is because nobody's ever done something like this before, like at this, not to brag or anything. I'm doing something that nobody else is doing, not to brag. Okay, I have to show you a video about why that's important. We'll get to that video. But what I mean is, like, I bring my art, the concept of my art project, and I'm like, oh, I want to build something out of mycelium, and everybody's like, what? I don't even know what material would work with that. I don't know. Like, nobody. I'm assuming it would be like so I was gonna make a silicone mold, which, you know, silicone is, sustainability, it doesn't form microplastics, which is good. However, it is, like, it doesn't degrade. It's not biodegradable. So that's a problem. But, like, it seemed like the most appropriate solution. But then I started researching about the plaster. I could use plaster, like plaster of Paris. That might work. Or that's just gypsum and water. Does it, like, yeah, it probably does take a long time to degrade, but also, like, it's not plastic based. And I think silicone is. I don't know. But, so I was like, oh crap, I got silicone. I'm gonna go and return it, and I'm gonna get the plaster, because I want to make everything natural. I just feel like with mycelium, like it would probably just work the best with a natural product. But again, I don't know. Brian White, thank you. The fact that you ask introspective questions shows one of your powers. Most people don't take the time to reflect on self. Oh, thank you, Duncan. Well, I try. I'm trying to see if this works. Like reframing my overthinking and putting it to use. Because that's, you know what, overthinking everything is just going to be a permanent part of my personality. And so if it is going to be a permanent part of my personality, then I might as well make it work for me. Like, I might as well put it to use. So, we like asking questions. Somebody who likes asking questions, let me show you the video. I love this artist. This is the artist I was talking about the other day. Have you guys seen David Cho? If you've seen Beef, I love, by the way, ignore this, okay? Listen. Don't look at my recommended panel, okay? That's something else. Okay. I love David Cho. Okay, this is so inspiring. So this is only a 5-minute video. I am eating, this is beans and rice, so I'm going to finish eating while we're watching. So thank God we've got an opportunity. Beef is so good and so is David. Yeah, I know, literally. Oh my God. Thank you, Eris, for the bits. I love this. Listen, Eris, I didn't know that you actually incorporated that emoji into your emojis. That is iconic. The fact that you have that emoji there is amazing. I hope you put it to good use in other channels besides mine. But trust me, when you put it to use in my channel, I do appreciate that. Oh, you bet I do. I bet you do. Okay, let's watch this super inspiring video. And he kind of does stream of consciousness. Just try and follow along. I love it. Okay, here we go.
In literally one video, I'm going to teach you how to be the best. What is this, some QVC shit? Some Tony Robbins? Yeah, shut the fuck up and get your fucking pencils up. Get your sketchbooks out. I'm about to tell you how to win at life. I'm about to teach you how to catfish your life, bitch. Hey Dave, where's about dare to be average, dare to be moderate? What about all that? Shut the fuck up. You talking to me or are you talking to you? I'm talking to me. Shut up, Dave. Shut up. I don't know what year the AI, ChatGPT, any of this shit came out. Was it a year ago? Was it a year and a half ago? I don't know, but it's recent. And consistently, without fail, someone in my life who's not a starving artist, it's an established musician, it's an established artist, calls me and says, I need help. 90% of the time when they say I need help,
Eris goes back and forth about whether I love or hate this guy.
Financial. It's weird sometimes because people say they want help, or they want help exactly the way they want the help. Now, if you're asking for real help, now it's time for you to get out of your own way and have someone else who's looking at your life come in and go, this is what your problem is. And the problem is, you suck. Pencils out, ears open. So I don't know where you work. I don't know if you work in corporate America, if you work at a tattoo shop, if you work at a restaurant, and there's like non-mandatory meetings for you. Oh, you don't have to come to this meeting. Go to that meeting. And everything you're doing, even if you're gonna get your little earbuds on while you're washing dishes or whatever, you listen to everything. Everything. You need a catfish. You act like you belong here.
Hi, Wacket. How's it going? The problem
is only in life and death.
I'm gonna pause it there. You know what? We don't need to listen to it anymore. I'll pause it there. Just kidding. Eris, that's valid. I don't actually know too much about him. I just know I've seen him in Beef. And I think, not to like bring up a broader philosophical concept. Okay, you know what? I'm going to anyway. I'm trying these days to like separate art from the artist. I encountered a video recently, which I want to discuss that one as well later, which the artist has ideas that I really don't agree with. But the actual thing that he put out, I feel like is very connected to truth and it was meaningful for me. Like I watched the video and I was like, oh wow, I took away a lot from this. However, he makes other videos which are absolute, in my opinion, garbage. So I think I said quick. She's bringing up a broader philosophical concept. Get her. I know. How dare I? But feel free to like it if you have opinions about anyone that's here. I would love to hear anyone's opinions. And I think yeah. So okay, let's continue watching just for a second. Well, okay, the first part, what I really like about it is he's going into all these things that we overthink and like things that hold us back, and he's just like, shut up. And I feel like I do that all the time with myself. Not that you should be mean to yourself and tell yourself to shut up, but in a rhetorical sense, finding things to make those unwanted thoughts go away is essential sometimes. Like I said, you can certainly judge art separately from the artist, but you might not be able to buy or recommend art separately from supporting its artist, and that's its own decision. Oh, absolutely. Right. Because you don't want to. This is something I thought about too. I was grappling with. Okay, I want to talk about that more later when we investigate the other video I wanted to talk about. Yes, valid. Hi, Tweet. Hello, everyone. We're watching a video from David Cho. Okay, we're gonna continue.
Death situations are you permitted to lie, and in every other place and aspect of your life, you tell the truth and you shine the light. No more secrets, no more lies. So then why are you saying that we should lie on our resume? Because it is life and death. If you're gonna be you know Yayo Kusama.
You do not have to apologize for that.
Dots, right?
This is a wall of text friendly.
Oh,
stream.
I could do that. I am doing that. Yeah, but you just did this, which is what, 30 dots? She does millions of dots. So you're telling us to develop an OCD complex? Absolutely. If you write Keith Haring in your phone, autocorrect changes it to Keith Hating. What does Keith Haring do? He does this guy? I could do that. What? Who couldn't do that? But you know where he does? You know where Keith Haring drew this in his short life? Everywhere! He drew it on a subway, he drew it on my friend's jacket, he drew it on skateboards, he did it everywhere. Do the thing that no one else will do. I don't give a shit.
This is the most important point, I feel like, in the whole video. And this is why I love the video. I'm sure you've heard from people who go to like a modern art exhibit and express disappointment at like, this art is not good. Like, or, my 3-year-old could do this, or I could do this. Why is this getting attention? Or, you see a piece of art, you don't understand it, you don't understand why it's successful or why it gets attention or why it's, and I guess the question you need to ask yourself is, okay, you can do it, but did you? Did you do it? They did. They did it, and you didn't. And I think that's the biggest distinction. Like, it might seem simple and easy, but they did it and you didn't. They put something out there when you didn't. And that's something I'm trying to use to reframe things and be like, I get held back by my thoughts of inadequacy all the time. I literally think I'm inadequate like every waking moment of every day. and I see other people do things, and I get intimidated by them, and it's like a constant cycle. In the question of the day, when I was talking about the research phase of things, that could apply to a bunch of other things in life, like researching other people, studying other people, taking in external information, before you act, before you do something. And that it includes all the things and all the thoughts that hold you back from actually doing things. Duncan says, I don't think an artist's truth is more powerful than a viewer or a participant. It's the opposite, in my opinion. Lots of times artists make art and their instincts drive it more than they realize. They're subconscious. So they can try to explain it, but it doesn't matter what their opinion is. It matters how others perceive it. These two perspectives should not affect one another. They do, but they shouldn't. I agree. When you create a piece of art and you put it out there, it's out there. Like the part of it that was for you was the creation, was the channeling thoughts and like subconscious and whatever into the piece as you were making it. That was the part that you did for you and no one else. But when you put it out there, that's when it becomes for other people to. I'm so sorry. I just barely ate, so we're gonna be eating and talking. That's when it's then up to the each person who consumes it. It's just like when you could form thoughts in your head all the time, like all day, every day, and that's all for you. But as soon as you open your mouth and say words to other people, then they become involved in that process. Like then their story is also included. I mean, if you read about when I was in the corporate world, the book Crucial Conversations was helpful to me, about like how everybody's always telling themselves stories in their head of like how things are going. That's how most people think, is like, okay, so this person is this way, and so they're probably going to be thinking this at this time. And you form a whole narrative about every single thing you interact with and perceive. Fuck. I just lost my train of thought. Hold on. When you communicate with somebody else, you are then, you're kind of trying to merge the two stories together in hopefully a harmonious way. Not always, but you need to realize that they're bringing in their story when they're interacting with you or something you created. And I see language as something basically the same as art. Art is just another medium for communication, in my opinion. It's very similar to the words you say in that way. It's like you're putting something out there, and then other people are interfacing with it, and they get to have control over how they. I mean, you can have a little piece, a little placard next to your art that says, "Here's my intention with what I was trying to do with this piece of art." And that's great. And yes, of course you can include that and like try and replicate whatever headspace you were in when you were creating the art into the other person. I feel like sometimes that's what people try and do, is they're trying to replicate that headspace of creation in that other person, so the other person gets it, so they get your art. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, at the end of the day, like when you are involving other people, when you're putting something out there outside of yourself, outside of your own brain and body, you're involving someone else. That's my opinion, at least. Oh, it's a train of thought, not a train of thoughts. Mods, add the TLDR label. No, I actually really enjoy. I mean, yes, that works too, but I also really enjoy reading sometimes it takes a lot of words to, a lot of words to communicate what you're trying to communicate. And sometimes you just require more words. So. Excuse me, sorry. Duncan said, and David can be over performative for sure. For someone that is talking about artistic purity, his editor sure uses lots of memes and jump cuts in his heavily edited videos. I could see how people criticize David for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And perhaps, I mean, I don't know the intention with which they edited the video, but perhaps it could be to appeal to a younger audience, you know, our dopamine-starved Gen Z. Oh, yes, of course, enjoy your lurk tweet. Thank you for being here. You know, like doing things fast, doing jump cuts, doing memes, doing loud noises, doing this in your face. A lot of people embrace that style of editing because it grabs your attention for long enough to communicate your idea. But it can be obnoxious sometimes. It can be obnoxious. Personally, I try my best to understand well, I mean, like there's some videos that just rub me the wrong way and I just won't watch them. But other times I do try and like put in my headspace, like, okay, what does this have useful information for me? Can I get over this, the editing and the whatever, in order to glean there's something important here that I'm trying to glean from this, and I can see the potential. So I'm gonna stick through the stuff that I don't really appreciate as much. But other times, like you can just tell that the communication was not intended for someone like you. But Wagon says, I don't know about your feelings of inadequacy, but sometimes that feeling comes from an overactive work ethic. There's something liberating in recognizing that the price of being really first class at something is dedicating your life to it and accepting that actually you'd rather go hiking. The choice to not excel is a perfectly good one, the best one, more often than not. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. As long as you're living the life that you want to, that's valid. If you would rather be hiking, if you would rather just live, you know, when I go to my little other, my quote, where's my, here. So like the meaning of life is just to be alive. It's so plain and obvious and so simple. And yet everybody rushes around in a great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. So this is one of my favorite quotes from Alan Watts. And yeah, if your goal is just to live every day as much as you can, it really, that can look different for other people. Something I'm finding is that I do get a lot of gratification from producing things and creating things. Because I noticed that after I finished creating this sculpture, my day, several days after that, I was like riding a high. I was like, oh my God, I finally did something. I produced something. Like, I finally accomplished something. And it's like, yes, I probably have been accomplishing a lot of things, but for some reason when I'm making things with my hands and I see the finished, I'm touching it, I'm carving it, I'm smoothing it out, I'm seeing it come together, and then I see the finished product, and that is so gratifying to me. So yeah, the food is cold. Okay, I'm gonna play the rest of the video so I can finish eating.
If you're at your dream job or at a job you hate, everyone else is doing the bare minimum, take every napkin at Denny's that you work at and you make little origami. Now you've made just any Denny's into a special Denny's. Every tattoo shop is the same. Every week, for one day, you give free tattoos or you give tattoo lessons. Have you been to art gallery lately? It sucks. It's dead. Make it, do fucking yoga in the morning there. Give away art for free. Well, how will I?
For free?
Everything you give for free will come back to you tenfold.
No, how am I gonna get paid?
Bro. Damn, bro. Fucking speaking truth. Truth to power. Wrong hole. I'm a backdoor guy, so you can't get in the front door, get in the back door. I give you full permission to lie. I rode my skateboard down La Brea. I went into every single gallery with my portfolio. Every gallery. So where else have you shown? How the fuck am I supposed to show anywhere if I haven't shown anywhere? Well, you fucking lie. And then you pretend, you act like you belong there. Be different. Everything has a established set of, this is what your reality is. This is what a Walkman is. Until Steve Jobs did acid and was like, nope, I'm gonna make an iPod. So there is an established, this is what a restaurant is. This is until you come in and go, fuck that, right? You come in and you go, fuck that. And you go, okay, this is what this business is. I'm gonna pay attention with my eyes and ears.
Fuck that.
Okay, this works, and this isn't working. So now I'm gonna edit. Come in with my editing machete. Cut that out, cut this out, cut that out. Do the thing that no one else is doing. You know, I'll tell you how that affects me. I'll be at Marie Callender's and the guy running to get me pie, I'll just say, I don't know if you have any background in music editing, but you're hired. I just like that you ran to get me my pie. Oh, sir, and he's awesome. Of course he's honest. He's like, sir, I don't know anything about sound editing. I go, you're hired. You know why? Because I know you're gonna run to learn about it. I'd rather have that guy that goes, oh yeah, I know everything about it. Yeah, the sound editor guy.
The arrogance.
AI took his job. He's fired. Fuck that.
And you know what? There's probably a lot of frustration. I mean, he kind of hinted at it earlier in the video about AI and AI taking a lot of creative people's jobs. And I'm sure in the art community, so I'm putting the Mahjong here so we can keep the board game tag, you know? So I never change my tags. So like, look, we're playing board games. Anyways, let me put my music back on. And whack it, I love that clarification that you made about don't try. Yeah, so you're not saying don't try things because being good at them is too hard. You're saying expertise comes at a price and you don't have to be willing to pay it just to enjoy doing things. Yeah, of course. Thank you for clarifying your perspective. Yes, I appreciate that. And I think that's kind of what I was getting from you, but I might not have summarized what you said earlier appropriately. So I love it when you do some clarification. That video might not be inspiring for everybody, but I think that different videos, different mediums, like if I saw that video a year ago, I'd probably be like, oh, okay, this is obnoxious. I'm not going to watch this. Honestly, like, it's only because now I'm trying to be creative. And sometimes I feel like the YouTube algorithm knows this way too well. I'm in a period of my life where I want to be more creative. I want to produce more things. I want to create more things. I want to have action. And I'm not saying that's what everybody should do. But it's what I want to do. And so if you're also in that phase of your life where you want to create things and do things, then I think his ideas are great. Like, especially, let me recall. I'm going back and recalling the video. Especially the point of, you know, being different, and also something that's held me back before is like, oh, if I create something and nobody enjoys it, then what's the point? If I create something and nobody watches it, nobody pays for it, I don't get any money from it, then why am I doing it, you know? And it's not wrong to want other people to appreciate your art or want money or attention or whatever it brings in for you. However, if that's your only goal, you're gonna get burned out really fast. Because I feel like a lot of the people in the art space who are really good because they've been doing it for a really, really long time, and often without the attention. I mean, consider the heated rivalry, the gay hockey players. Okay, let me see if the video is recommended to me. I think it's in my other. Let's see. The actors from Heated Rivalry, I've been recommended their videos on my YouTube feed, and it's so fucking amazing because turns out the actors had quite an interesting digital footprint. Oops, okay, my laundry's done. Whoops. That's gonna be going for a while. Okay, we're gonna dump it out, so I'm gonna mute it really quick. Okay, and the song is done. So if you look here, if you look really close in the corner, this was only from 10 months ago, but the person who's wearing the mask and the tank top is actually one of the main characters of Heated Rivalry. And they are, when I tell you they are stars, when I tell you it's in like the Wall Street Journal is having comics about them. They're on the Tonight Show. They're like giving out awards at the Golden Globes or whatever. Like, they are stars. Okay? So Hudson Williams is the guy who did the YouTube video. And then Connor Story, I noticed that he, 12 years ago, actually put out a few YouTube videos when he was 12. So when he was a kid, he was putting out, he was starting from a really young age, just like putting things out, directing his attention outward, right? And you know, it doesn't happen often where some things can feel like, oh my God, like it was just the stars aligned and there was this incredible amount of luck that made these people really famous. And sometimes that might be true. And that's definitely a component. However, they've been trying for a really long time. Not saying that if you try for a really long time, you're gonna get as successful as them, but it's almost comforting to be able to see that digital footprint and be like, oh, he's always been like this. Oh, he's been putting his attention outward for his whole life, basically. So that was another thought I had. But anyway, sorry, we yapped for a really long time. Let's play Mahjong. If anybody has any thing they want to talk about, feel free. But that was one of the biggest shifts I made as a streamer, is a shift in mindset from I'm doing this for the attention it brings me and for the potential monetary gain that it will bring me. I shifted away from that into, do I enjoy doing this? Yes? Okay, do it. Do I not enjoy doing this? No? Okay, don't do it. The external benefits are, I mean, they're still like a small factor, but they're not taking center stage anymore. And I feel like that's actually really helped me continue to stream as much as I do. Okay. Eventually I want to learn how to do different patterns, but for now we're just going to do the turtle pattern. So we'll just do that for now. Okay, you ready for the ASMR? Let's go. Oh my god, this table's not big enough, you guys. They're all falling off. Fuck. Maybe if I like pick them up and put them over here. Not everybody wants to be great. Not everybody wants to be famous or have things that other people like, put things out there. I know my husband, for example, like the idea of external appreciation is like fills him with disgust. He would rather be a recluse, not have anybody know anything about what he's doing, just live his life, live an ordinary, casual existence where he makes enough money to have enough freedom to do the things he wants to do, but not so much in that it draws a lot of attention. And plenty of people want to live that way. And I'm not saying I want to be, the thing that I think I want is just the satisfaction of being able to say, I made things. I left the universe better than how I found it, than how I came into it. That's kind of that's what I want to do. So that's why I want to create things. It goes back to that, hello Craftus, how's it going? We're playing Mahjong again. Welcome. We're also talking about art, making art, being creative, the different reasons why people create, what inspires us, things like that. We just watched a very inspiring video by David Cho who talked about like just create, just do it. If you're don't hold yourself back by ideas of, oh, what if I don't make money from it, or oh, what if I suck, what if I you know, just do it. Just do it. And most people, that's what they're doing. They're just doing things. Some people might seem like, some people might be really talented and seem like, oh, I could never be like that, you know? But I'm sure those people also experience just as much, well, maybe not just as much, but they're not immune to things like imposter syndrome and like feeling not good enough. They probably have insecurities just like the rest of us. I just dropped a brick, a Mahjong thing. Where'd it go? Hello. It's under the table. Oh, okay, there it is. Okay. By the way, we're also running. Today we're doing the stream as long as my camera will allow. So, as soon as this camera dies, then I guess that'll be it. Unfortunately, I still don't have a way of connecting the camera to a power source, but we'll find. Anyway, so I'm gonna go back to the craft store later, because I did the research now. I know what to get. I know what next step to do. I guess part of my question about how, like, do you ever get stuck in the research phase is like, getting at is like, sometimes you get these dopamine deficits where it's like you spend so much energy trying to do something, like research something and go for something, and then you end up being incorrect, you end up being wrong, and then it's like, I just wasted all that energy on, I wasted all that energy on going to the art store and getting the wrong supplies. I didn't do it right the first time. Oh man, now I don't even get the dopamine hit. And that's hard. That's hard to overcome. Because you want to get that dopamine hit of like, oh yeah, I'm making progress, I'm doing stuff, you know? Duncan said, it's an interesting dynamic. The nature of society is to monetize art, even in Greek times. So appreciation is literally shown in gifts. But if that is the motivation of the art or the performance, it can directly compete with the energy needed to create. The two are constantly at odds, creation and monetization. Absolutely. Because the more you try and monetize things or depend on monetization, the more you depend on other people. I think that's a difficult, I'm not sure if that's at all what you're getting at, but what it reminds me of is like creators on YouTube, for example, or Twitch, for example. The more they depend on those platforms for monetization, the less control they have over what they say and what they do, because they have to make sure they say and do things that are sponsor appropriate. So you do have to, when you introduce monetization, when you bring in other people's money, it's the same concept as like nonprofits, for example. Like, why not? It's hard for nonprofits, and it's especially hard for leaders of nonprofits. They can never take more money than what they deserve, what they are owed. The way society looks at the leader of a nonprofit, let's say, for example, they go on a trip to South America, or they go on a trip to Cabo, or like, wherever. They spend a lot of money on that. People will externally look at that and be like, oh my God, what? Nonprofit CEO has money and spending money? No, they're not supposed to have money. Whereas we don't bat an eyelashes if a CEO of a for-profit company uses all the money to go do something. When you're paying money, especially for art or nonprofit or things that are not supposed to be profitable, people take a lot of ownership in how that money is used. And it's a very interesting thing to think about and explore. Anyway, sorry, I'll read the rest of your comment. The two are constantly at odds, creation and monetization. But the good news as a streamer, consider these things. If you want to create something meaningful, beautiful, creative, the people who appreciate it will reward you. And in the video as well, that's what he kind of said, was like, put things out for free. Put things up, make it anyway, do it anyway, put it out for free, and perhaps things will come back to you. I mean, don't do it with the expectation that something's going to come back to you. But he said in his experience, it does come back to you in one way or the other. Whether it be like personal fulfillment, or whether it be monetary benefit. Duncan says, there's no reason for a performer to go out of your way and distract from the art by bringing up money. The dynamic is understood from the audience and the performer. Right. And I will admit, it's kind of a tricky subject to bring up, and something to talk about carefully. And the reason why I like to talk about it is because I don't know, I want to be honest. I want to be honest about what's going through my mind, and that is going through my mind. That in the past, when I was streaming, I did have in my mind that I'm going to do this and then get paid for it. That was my... But along the way, I learned that I get so much more reward from things when that's not my main consideration. Because I was constantly like burning myself out doing things like, oh, nobody's seeing this, nobody's caring. Like, but that's the thing, I was holding myself back from putting out good things because I was, I don't know, just dependent on what other people we're gonna do, I guess. So I just want to say it's normal. It's normal to go through that kind of. I mean, everybody goes through it in different levels, but it's normal to kind of grapple with that. Like, what do I really want? I guess. Tweet says you could get a battery pack for your phone if you want. Yeah, I have a portable charger that I should charge, and actually, you know what? I think that was confiscated at the Beijing airport, now that I remember. Because it's a lithium battery, so they were like, that is not allowed. It was right after the incident where a lithium battery exploded on a Chinese flight, and so they were being really cautious of like what you could allow. And I forgot I had one of those in my luggage, and the Chinese airport people were like, "Really? You brought that?" I always know because I speak to them in Chinese, but I know that it makes me feel deeply uncomfortable when they make that transition from like, "Oh, cool, someone who engages with our culture and language," to, "Oh, stupid foreigner." And then they start speaking to me in English. When they make that transition to speaking to me in English, I know I've failed. I'm like, no, damn it. You can't mess up. If I do something wrong, then they're gonna be like, yep, she's just a stupid American, just like all of them. I'm like, fuck. I know I shouldn't care so much about that kind of thing, but it's kind of fun. It's fun when I'm speaking in Chinese and then they speak back to me in Chinese, and it's like, oh, they're taking me seriously. I'm speaking Chinese well. Not that I have to uphold the disproving of American stereotypes on my shoulders. Not that I have to carry the weight of all that on my shoulders. But you know, should I? You guys, I'm gonna flip this. We're gonna flip this. Here, 1 second. We're gonna flip the camera so you guys can see. How do I do that? I did it at one point, didn't I? Oh yeah, there. Okay, so now you can see it. Cool. Duncan says, well, art depends on other people. The energy going back and forth between the audience and the performer is the life of the art. But when it hinges on payment, there's an implication that the art will end without payment. That's holding art hostage and giving negative context to it. Oh, I like this perspective you're sharing. Unless the art is supposed to have a negative implication, then that blackmail will kill that energy. Thank you for sharing. And I think I'm learning that. I've been learning that. Because I'm very new to this whole like creating thing, and I'm realizing that it is kind of like holding the art hostage. Like, oh, I'm only gonna do this if I get attention for it. And then is it really genuine when I'm depending on it in that way? Is it really coming? Because ultimately what I want to do is I want to put out things that come directly from me, from my heart, because that's the most unique thing you have, right? Anybody can play Mahjong, anybody can paint a picture, anybody can make a sculpture, anyone can do that. But when you add your authenticity and you being a genuine person into it, then that's when it becomes special. When you're not like doing it for external, validation or compensation, I feel like that's when you do allow yourself to be free, and be free with displaying everything that you as a very unique person has to offer. Hi Bunny, welcome. How's it going? What's up? Bunny, I just realized I haven't been receiving notifications for when you're... Have you been streaming since that first time that I... Because I realized for you and Beef, for some reason, I haven't been getting notifications. So sorry, I haven't been by the streams recently. But, you guys, new streamer here. I remember coming in and seeing... What was it, Wizard 101 that you were playing? That was fun. That was a while ago, but it's nice to see you. Duncan says, I appreciate you for discussing these things. You create a very unique and special space on Twitch with honest discussions. Oh my gosh, thank you. That means a lot. Wow, that's so nice of you. Okay. Okay, I don't know how to cope when people give me compliments, so we're gonna play the game now. Okay. That's really nice. Okay. So, as a reminder, how to play the game is we're making matches of tiles. So you match 2 tiles, 2, 2, 2. And you can only pull them out sideways. If they're blocked by other tiles, horizontally, you can't. These 2 are trapped, these are trapped. If they're underneath another tile, that's also trapped. You can't. So, let's see. Bunny says, I'm alright, and no, life has been kicking me in my butt, and yes, it was Wizard 101. I want to do another stream soon, but maybe postpone. Oh, I see. So you haven't been streaming since then, but you fractured your wrist. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Wow. Yeah, that would definitely inhibit you from streaming. Oh man, that's rough. Well, I hope you get well soon. Health is wealth. Health is wealth. Okay. So, I mean, anyway, fundamentally, like, the thing that keeps me going and keeps me trying is I have plenty of days where I do a stream and I'm like, that was shit. I hated how that went. Wow, I hated how I acted around this person and this and this and this. I feel really bad about how and I go back and I microanalyze everything. But I would like to keep trying, because when I keep trying, then I can get better. And I realize that those qualities of microanalyzing everything and beating myself up are not helpful, right? But I'm trying to overcome those, as a reminder.
Accept yourself. Others. Starts with you.
I think we just have to have constant reminders. It's a constant process of reminding myself, trying again. I'm sorry about the ads, you guys. I'm so excited to release the new videos for those, the emotions. It's gonna be good. I need to find a source of music for them, but for those who missed it, here, I'll show you. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera, I'm looking at the monitor that I have behind the camera. Coming soon is videos, a bit inspired by, because I really enjoy Leslie Tanner and the amount of production value he puts in his streams. It's a little bit inspired by that, but it's also a little bit of my own stuff. So there's these videos for each emotion. So like surprise, for example, it's gonna play like these different like stock videos from that Canva has. It's just like a little background, things that represent different emotions. And I'm gonna like choose music that sounds like it fits the emotion, and we'll see. But like today's topic, sometimes we get lost in the research. We never finished putting things out. It happens. I mean, I'm sure all of you have unfinished products. Yes, surprise, exactly. And it's fun to make. So if there's 3 of those emotions, then they make a potion, and it's fun to do that too. Sometimes I forget. Ultimately, I think I want to make things more engaging. Oh, welcome back from the ad. Sorry, you got an ad as soon as you came in. That's annoying. I feel like that happens a lot. Where like people will come in and they'll just get an ad immediately. The bringer of ads. Okay, let's see. In a minute, I wanted to discuss that other video that I had. It's about the different... I was gonna see if... because there's somebody in particular I really wanted to be here to discuss it with them, but also I might not wait until they come. I might just do it. I might just do it because I want to do it. Because I want to discuss it. Oh, thank you. I'm worth the wait of... Oh, you're so sweet. Wait. Everybody's being so nice to me today. Holy shit, I can't handle it. Thank you. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. Let's see, what did I do this weekend? I watched Baby Girl for the second time. Yeah. People are like... Is that all you do is watch softcore porn? And it's like, no, I don't. I promise I don't. However, I do enjoy nice. Here, if you guys have seen the movie, I watch other things, I swear. But this game, I mean, this movie isn't even about... You might have seen the trailer for a while, like, it was back in like 2024, so a couple years ago. It's not really even about, about any of that, but I enjoy that movie. I like it because I relate a lot to the main character, and I think it's a great representation of women and letting go, allowing yourself to experience the best of what life has to offer, basically, and also overcoming some of the obstacles that a lot of women have to go through, especially because the main character, part of her story was that she was raised in a cult, which, listen, the Mormon church is not a cult, okay? I want to make that distinction. However, I do relate a little bit to some of the things that she went through. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Bunny had a great weekend. Snowed in. Oh, are you living in the area where the snowstorm is? Ooh. Daughter had her birthday party before the snow, and then sleepovers at her friends, and then spent time with your mom and boyfriend. Nice. Ohio. Okay. Yeah, that's like right in the middle of it. Do you guys have power? Well, you obviously have power. Did you lose power for a bit, or I was hearing that a lot of places were losing power. And you guys, I'm over here in Utah, which is supposedly the greatest snow on earth. You guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a little bit worried. Actually, I'm very worried. We have had the lowest snowfall on record ever. The lowest snowfall we've ever had. It's bad. It's like 0.1 inches. It's like, oh my god, you guys. Not to like be a downer, but It's like, here, I'll show you look at this. Okay, this is fine. This is great. Oh my god. So the lowest snowfall ever recorded before this was 14.3 inches. Oh my god, you guys. What is happening? Yeah. No, literally, oh my gosh. We're gonna have to change all of our marketing because literally we have license plates with the greatest snow on earth on the license plate. And you know, we're gonna have the Winter Olympics coming soon. I think in like 2030 something. I don't know how we're going to, I mean, it varies year to year. But this is the reason why this is so concerning is because the Great Salt Lake, so for those of you who don't know, has arsenic at the bottom. So here's a official source. Yeah, understand. So there's dust at the bottom of the lake bed. There's several naturally occurring and man-made compounds. But here's the composition. So okay, good. So currently there's no increase in airborne arsenic. Let's see. Here. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Toxic arsenic laced dust. Collapse in 5 years. Okay. So the place where I live, a lot of people are talking about how it might even be uninhabitable pretty soon. And so that's been weighing on my mind a little bit. Sorry to be a little bit of a downer. That is weighing on the back of my mind, and it is a little bit. So I'm over here. The point is, I'm seeing you guys in all your snowstorms and everything, and I'm like, it's out here. It's sunny outside. It's like 40 degrees. Tobi's over there lounging in the sun. It's been the warmest winter and the lowest snowfall we've ever had. So I'm like, can you send some snow over here, please? We need it so bad. Oh, that was a weird squeak. Okay, I'm putting it back down now. The snow is almost to your knees, but you're not that tall. 5'3", but it's still the most I've seen in 10 years. Oh, that's crazy. So like the lowest snowfall in one place and then the highest snowfall in other places. That's crazy. Wait, I think this was supposed to be right here. This is trapped, I think. We're just moving around the board as we see fit. That's just how this game works. Okay. Wackett says, on the art/money thing, oh, that's okay. You don't have to apologize for being late. Feel free to give your comments whenever. Sometimes there are real costs to be covered, and the thing being made isn't popular enough. There's a production house in Melbourne involved in a good proportion of Australian alternative comedy, which makes no money renting out its studio and relies on Patreon/GoFundMe for much of what it makes. I'm fine with it. Better than giving up. There's nothing wrong with wanting art to be your livelihood. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with wanting it to be your livelihood. It's so complicated, I guess. It's a very complicated balance, and I love the ideas that Duncan shared earlier about like the giving and taking and the I think luck is a huge component to it as well. But I guess, like, at the end of the day, if your art is not, you gotta focus on the things that make your art good. If monetization is your goal. And sometimes you can change, I guess sometimes you can change your goals, right? Like, you can change your goal from your primary, you can have like primary goals and secondary goals. So like, primary goal is monetization, secondary goal is making something that I resonate with. Or you can do like, I know some people, they'll do two different types of art. They'll do art that they know will make them money, and then they'll do art that's just for themselves and just to actually be the expression part of it. I think that it's seeming to me like Meat Canyon does that. A popular YouTuber and streamer. If you guys have seen Meat Canyon, oh my god, he's wow, very unique for sure. Every time I see his videos, they're very cursed, but that's kind of the point. Fundamentally, he's very talented. If you've ever seen these videos before, he's a popular YouTuber. But I've seen he also does Twitch streams, I think, to like hang out with people. And I'm sure that he makes videos that he know will get attention and money. And then there's other times where he makes art just to make it. But anyway, yeah. Meat Canyons. And he happens to be successful. Which unfortunately doesn't happen to a lot of people. But Bunny says, can you send that weather here just for a day or two? I know, can we trade, please? I would love to trade. Wackett says, even in my lifetime, snow where I grew up has gone from light/heavy every year to light some years to usually none. Yeah, I grew up with we'd get like several feet of snow. I mean, I grew up in Cache Valley, which their climate and microclimate is different, a little bit different. They traditionally get a lot more snow than Salt Lake does. But still, even them, they're not really getting any snow either. When they traditionally get several feet. So, and I remember one year here where it was like, I want to say like several feet at one time, and school was closed. And when you have a snow day in Utah, you know it's bad. You know, like the places that don't usually get snow, I feel like Texas, for example, like that really serious freeze that they had in Texas where people were like using water from swimming pools to like, I don't know how that has to do with flushing their toilets. There was like, I don't know, there was like a lot of craziness going on. They were like freaking out because their infrastructure is not designed to have freezing and snow. Things were happening. And they like were out of power for a really long time. Utah's infrastructure we're prepared mostly for snowfall. But when that one year, it was like so bad that we were unprepared, and like school was canceled. So when school was canceled, you know it's bad. It's fun though. I like having snow days. I like staying in and just like watching movies. Is anybody watching any good shows or movies while you're snowed in? I'm in need of some more recommendations. I still haven't seen the one. So somebody recommended one movie to me. It's the one with the other one with Jude Law. And it also had what's his name? The Martian guy. I don't know. I know. I have it in the back of my mind. I'm gonna find it eventually. Ooh, Phantom of the Opera. Oh yes, I love that movie. Halo, Fallout, and the Book of Eli. Oh, nice. Wait, the Book of Eli. Have I seen that? Have I seen the trailer for that? I feel like I have. I have not. Okay. This is something completely different than what I thought. Ooh, Denzel Washington, Gary Oldman. Oh, interesting. Is it a TV show or a movie? Cool. Nice. But yeah, I liked, it's a great movie. 10 out of 10 recommend. Ooh, okay. Post-apocalyptic world. Seeks to deliver his copy of a mysterious book to a safe location. I've seen a few Denzel Washington action movies. They've been pretty good. Nice. Tweet Watch The Substance. Oh, what did you think about that one? I spoiled the entire plot for myself because it was interesting. The concept was interesting, but I couldn't actually watch the show because I don't do well with gore. That's the problem. If there's gore on a movie, I will put my hand over my face and not watch it. I can't. And also plug my ears. I'll close my eyes and plug my ears because I can't handle it. It's a sensory nightmare. But yeah, intriguing movie for sure. What did you think? I loved it. Such a great commentary on body image. I did have to look away at some parts. Yeah. No, a great commentary on body image and women, especially women in the spotlight, and women's fear of aging. Yeah, I think it was definitely a necessary movie that needed to be made, especially in the wake of, like Ozempic and veneers and all these, things coming out. We talked about beauty on Friday, I remember, and appearances, but I like you can, when you grow older, yes, you are going to look different than you did in the past, but that doesn't mean you can't, I met up with my friend Judy, who is 80. She's 80 years old. Why do I okay, this is supposed to be here. Okay, just pretend like that was supposed to be there. That was supposed to be there. And look, this one's free now. So my friend, she's 80 years old, and she's beautiful. She's she radiates vitality and life, and she talks about going to her physical therapy classes and about her spiritual journey. She wrote a memoir. She has a great relationship with her grandkids. She wears cute earrings and cute shirts, and she does her hair in a cute way. She got a job recently. She's still working because she likes to work. And she's just, she makes me excited to get old. She makes me excited to age and be at that stage where you can look back on your life and feel proud of it. Despite she had a hard life. I mean, she had a lot of hard things happen to her in her life, but now she's at the point where she's reaping in all of the rewards of what she has sown. Because sometimes I feel a little bit scared of getting older, and especially now that I'm kind of at my peak biologically. It's all going to be downhill from here, but it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, I just need to look at it in a different way. Look forward to these new things that are going to be happening as I grow older. For example, the benefit of having more wisdom and more introspection and more more understanding of how things connect to each other. And seeing like almost the reminders of like a life well lived, like the more like little scars you have, or the little, you know, the sunspots or the marks, you know, that start to form on your skin, and also the stretch marks, for example, and the all of that can be seen in a different perspective and be like, wow, okay, I used my body to the fullest. I lived in my body. And look at what it's done for, oh, look at this scar here. Oh, it healed over. Remember that time when I've got a scar on my ankle. You guys have any like weird scars? I have a scar on my ankle from when I was on a cruise ship. Hi, Eclecte. We're talking about scars. Weird scars. So it's not that weird, but like I was on a cruise ship and the server dropped a plate, like a tray of plates, and one of them came up and hit me on the ankle. And he was so upset that he like started crying. he felt so bad that he cut me. It ended up being fine. Then we thought that I would need stitches, and that would have been a whole thing, but I didn't. But it kind of forms like a little bump on my ankle. So now I just remember that. It's like a permanent memory. I don't even need to remember it. I can just look, and then the memories will come back to me. You guys, this game is not going well. This game is not going well. Am I gonna have to? I think I'm gonna have to start over. I'm gonna have to start over because look, I'm stuck. Already? What? Okay, that's fine. There was a 2 there. It's fine. We're starting over. Screw it. I know. I just wasn't, you know what, Tweet? I just wasn't feeling it. I was like, fuck it. I want to do it over again. This is taking too long. Sorry. This is taking too long. I need a refresh. I need a new dope. I need to pull the lever again. I need to have my new dopamine boost. I mostly just like, woo, I won! Hi, Dom. Oh my gosh, hi, Dom. What's up, Dom? What is going on, my friend? We're talking about scars and the stories that they hold in our body. How our body holds on to memories and stories. And I think that's a fascinating topic. Eclectic says, I have stretch marks, a scar on my face, and a scar near my elbow. See, and that's, I don't know, just reframing it, being like, wow, my body is so resilient, and also like the fact that it heals itself when it gets injured. Dom says, I overslept and didn't meditate. Now I'm still in bed. Dom, what? You're telling me you don't wake up and meditate every single morning without fail? You're telling me that you're a human being? What? Oh my gosh, Dom. I can't believe this. Now, your body probably just needed extra sleep. Wow. Your body needed the extra sleep. And I'm glad that you gave that to your body, Dom. Oh, I always need extra sleep. Yeah. Well, thank you for deciding to join us. Thank you for being here. Dom, I had an interesting thing I wanted to talk to you about. It was actually the video from that Discord that was shared. The one about the different levels of consciousness. I have a lot to say about that. But I wanted to know your thoughts, because it seemed like you watched the video too, so I was like, I want to know. But by all means, you do not feel like you have to give your thoughts right now. Tweet says, I think that's why I enjoy getting tattoos, plus the art. Yeah, I mean, Tweet, I think at some point in my life, I'm going to get a tattoo. I want to. I want to have that. And just to be able to say that I did it. Oh, you only saw a minute of it? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, that Dom says, I'm skeptical of random people inventing psychology slash spiritual systems. Yeah, no, that's fair. Here, let me find the video. I'll show you. It's on my Discord. Let me go to my Discord. Go to the video. I've never seen consciousness mapped out like this before, so that's why I was like, oh, this is interesting. So it's the high levels of, one second.
Bottom. You can't include.
Oh, come on.
Bottom.
Show me the video. This is the cut version. Hold on. Is that gonna play the thing I want? No, it's not. It's weird how you can share just clips of things. Okay, I found it. So it's called The High Levels of Thinking and How They Make Things Better Sometimes. So here it is. Eclectic says, I plan to be tattooed from head to toe. I just haven't been able to afford it. Oh yeah, I bet tattoos could be expensive too. That's so cool though. Wow. I'm trying to imagine you with that many tattoos. So you already have tattoos? I don't have any yet. Oh, you guys, so you're only at 4. Bunny has 13. Good therapy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I plan to have tattoos. I'm going to. Bunny wants sleeves and half sleeves on my legs. Dom doesn't have any. What? Dom, do you ever plan to have tattoos, or is that not your thing? I've been thinking about whether it's my thing or not for a really long time, and I think it's gonna be my thing. I'm gonna commit to it. I want to get at least 1 tattoo. Tweet has about 8 tattoos. Whoa, nice. Dang, are you guys people who need to have a specific artist and like a very specific, because that's the thing with me, like I need to have a very specific artist do exactly what I want to do on my body. I can't just show up to a studio and be like, okay, do whatever you want, you know. But some people like to do that. I mean, some people enjoy that. Oh yeah, Bunny, you're picky on who does your tats. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna be. Bunny says, one of my favorite smells is a tattoo we'll talk about the video in a minute. One of my favorite smells is a tattoo shop. They need to make it in candle form. I mean, they make plenty of things in candle form that are kind of cool. I know they made the pirate water at Disneyland into a candle. I actually smelled it, by the way. My cousin got a pirate water candle. It didn't smell the way I thought it was going to. It kind of smelled like a fog machine. No. It kind of smelled. Disneyland. The Disneyland pirate ride kind of smells like fog machines. But the candle smelled a little bit more like chlorine, which listen, the pirate ride is a unique blend of fog machines and chlorine, and then perhaps a little bit of sewer mixed in. Amazing. I mean, that's what it is. Like, you get a tiny little whiff of like, okay, that's sewer smell. That's what makes the pirate ride special. Bunny says, I haven't gotten one in a long time. My tattoo artist passed away 6 years ago. Oh man, my condolences. Shoot. So you had an artist that you valued, and I think I'm gonna do the same thing, like because there's this one artist out in New York, and I'd have to go all the way to New York, which I'm like, whoa, that's gonna be a ton of money. But she's like the only artist I would ever have do my tattoos. So one day maybe if I have enough money, I might do it. Eclectic says my 4 current tattoos were by random artists, but for the last couple years I've been researching for a specific artist. Ah, nice. Plan to stack my piercings more. I'm only at 6. Only 6. That's awesome. Yes, it's fun to do little modifications, you know, on your body. One modification I think I won't do is I might do more piercings. That could be fun. I don't think I'll do the gauges because it's, you know, if you get and not that I have anything against gauges. It's just you have to always be wearing something in them to make it look, you know. And that seems like too much work. Like, I want to have days where it doesn't look like I have some sort of modification. Like, if you have a lot of ear piercings, you could just not put earrings in them, and it would look the same. But for things that look a little bit more permanent, I feel like that's just not my cup of tea. But, I mean, my friend has gauges, and she makes them work. How does your family feel about tattoos? Obviously they're opposed to it, yeah. So tattoos are not allowed in Mormon culture. Although what's interesting is they recently changed the rules to allow tattoos for tribal groups, like if it's related to like your, especially Pacific Islanders. If it's related to your Pacific Island heritage, then it's allowed. It's like, okay. Okay, what we're just making up whatever rules fit our narrative. Cool. But yeah, so. But when I was growing up, tattoos were very not allowed, and neither were multiple piercings. So you could only have one piercing on your ears, and that was all that was allowed. So I feel like if I were to get a tattoo now, my parents might they might roll their eyes a bit, you know, but they recognize that I'm an adult, so I can make my own choices. They might not agree with the choice, but they're not gonna like, you know, freak out too much. You got rid of a few of your piercings, down to just my ears and nose now. Oh yeah, I thought about getting a nose piercing at one point. I think that's off the table for me now, but I did consider it at one point. They look good. Eclecte had snake bites. I missed them though. Oh. Dom says, I used to have a nose piercing, but it kept snagging my shirts and eventually ripped out and I couldn't get it back in. Yeah. Ooh. Youch. Yeah. I'm all about the practicality. So if there's any element that makes something not practical for like, you know, and like inconvenient in any way, because I'm lazy. So if it's inconvenient in any way, I'm like, maybe not. But yeah, I admire everybody who's able to maintain all their, because piercings, you gotta maintain the hygiene on that, right? And you gotta take care of it. So for everybody who's able to do that. Belly button and 9. You don't miss them. That's so interesting, Bunny. I wonder how bad that hurt. Mine kept getting ripped out too because of my daughter's afro. Ooh, okay. Yeah. And that's where I'd be like, okay, I don't think I want this. The belly button, not the other piercing. Yeah, the belly button piercing getting ripped out. That's inconvenient. They also take a long time to heal. Piercings in general take a long time to heal, absolutely. Bunny says, that's when I was heavier, so my belly stuck out. I lost 100 pounds. What? You did? Oh my gosh, congratulations. I just don't want for them anymore. I guess I'm getting too old for piercings. That's fair. But wow, congratulations. That must have taken a lot of work. That's very amazing. Okay. 230 to 1 in 1 year. Wow. I mean, that's in 1 year. That's crazy. That is a feat. A lot of discipline and dedication. Yeah, I bet. Wow, congratulations. Okay, so I want to talk about this video a little bit. Although I want to... Okay, that goes there. Wait a minute. This goes here. And then it... Okay, that's right. We're gonna do it right this time. So here's this video. We'll yap about it as we're doing our next round. So this person, their YouTube channel is called Ho Math. So this was posted in a different Discord community. And so I ask that we suspend our disbelief for just a couple minutes. And that's also a factor of what we're going to be discussing. I had to do a lot of suspending of disbelief when I was watching this video. I'm trying these days to have a more open mind, and that's tricky. That's tricky when you encounter things that you're like, ooh, I don't agree with that. You know, so I'm gonna go through the things I'm skeptical of after the thing that I do appreciate. We're gonna say what I do appreciate first, and then we're gonna say the things that I'm skeptical of after, so that we're not too biased. Because I know what I'm gonna say after is definitely gonna bias people. Probably a good thing if you disagree with this video. Well, so if you look closely at this diagram, so it goes from levels of thinking, like from number one, it's kind of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So number one is kind of like, I would call it survival mode, like your basic needs, like eating, drinking, everything. And everything's focused on me. Oh yes, I can do that, absolutely. Sorry, sometimes my voice is a bit quiet. Okay. Hopefully, is that better? Hopefully. Thanks for letting me know. It's hard to tell. So anyway, different. Oh, and also the cafe is working, which I'm very glad about. Okay, I'm glad it's better. Good. So number one is basically me, thinking about me and how to satisfy my needs. Number two is when okay, there's other people here. I'm considering that there's other people. And then it keeps moving up through these different perspectives. Eventually it's like you try and have a completely objective perspective of everything going on. You try and include everybody's thoughts and feelings. And I think that's the number 6. So being inclusive, being interconnected, being like, oh, okay, everybody brings something unique to the table. Let's evaluate it from everybody's perspective. Let's put ourselves in everybody's shoes. And we're gonna do all that. And then you jump up to level 7, which is like, ooh, okay, so considering everybody's thoughts and feelings at some point can get difficult, and sometimes maybe you need separate areas that work for different people. And then from there you go to number 8, and then number 9 is basically like enlightenment I'm enlightened. Everything just flows through me. I'm reading transparent. I'm trying to find a more clear image. Let's see if it's more clear. It's not really more clear. I've never seen it outlined in this way, and that's what I appreciate. And when he was doing his explanation, I was like, oh, okay, this makes some sense. I can get what he's saying. I was trying really hard to understand, because the goal is not to like dwell in the highest level of thinking all the time. Even people who have been enlightened know that you can't. It's like somebody gave an analogy of like throwing a rubber ball at the wall, and the moment at which the ball hits the wall and sticks to the wall, that's number 9, and then immediately bounces off. You like get little tastes of like what it's like to have perfect awareness of everything all the time, right? And that happens temporarily. And I guess I wanted to get people's opinions and thoughts about what do you think about this concept of like, are there different levels of thinking? Because I kind of agree that yes, there are, you can progress through. Now, this person was making very, I would say, controversial political claims throughout his video, and trying to say things like, most of the world, so if you see here, like 90% of the world lives in number 4 and below. I'm not sure how much I agree with that. I feel like he doesn't give people enough credit for how high level their thinking is. It's very ironic, I think, because yes, massive overstimulation. Hello, Ivan, welcome. This chart seems to be full of ego. Eclectic. Just wait. Just wait. Okay, so listen, hello, Ivan. I wanted to provide the material first because I don't want us to be clouded by bias. Later, I'm going to provide some things that I think will give us some more clarity, but, well, not clarity, bias. So I'm trying to extract as much as meaning as I can from this before we introduce some other things that maybe we're a little bit skeptical and critical of. I feel like I've gone through the stages of this, and the older I get, I do feel like I'm able to achieve higher levels of thinking about things. I've perceived myself going through, yes, I think I've been at number 6, where I'm trying to understand everything from everybody's point of view and like fit everybody and make sure everybody gets along and make sure that we all, he also talks about the incorporation of time and the self, and when you move from like an objective, like, so that's the stage in which you're looking at everybody objectively. Eventually you need to add subjectivity back into it, right? You need to realize that, oh, wait, myself and how I perceive the world uniquely, that actually does have a component in how I view things. So you start to incorporate like, oh yeah, depending on what mindset I'm having that day, depending on my emotions and my whatever, that's gonna influence how I feel about things. And then you start to realize, oh yeah, wait, other people also have stories that they're telling themselves in their head, and they're seeing one version of the world that's probably differently from me. And we're all just, oh my God, we're all seeing the world completely different ways. And that's interesting. But then you take a step back I'm almost done yapping, I swear. Then you take a step back further from that and you're like, wait, I change over time. Oh my God. So not only am I constantly telling stories about what's going on, like but also like my perspectives change over time, and I can observe that happening from a even higher level, being like, oh, look at me as a concept. Look at me as a, did my music stop? Okay, no it didn't, okay. Look at me as a concept that changes over time. That's interesting. And then like the level 9, which is the enlightenment or whatever, is like, I have a very hard time understanding that one. Perhaps it doesn't seem like it's, sometimes I think it's like maybe flow state, but that's like not even what it is. Ethereal, 6th person. So like there's 1st person, 2nd person, 3rd person, 4th person, 5th person, and then ethereal. Okay, thank you, Eclectic. Dom says development of thought, but then he describes emotions. I guess the emotion influences the thought. Yeah, and emotions do. So, subjectivity and intuition is a very important component. It's interesting, my husband has a theory, because after he watched that documentary AlphaGo, his theory is that human intuition is actually the highest level of thinking. Because it was beyond, because in the documentary, like the Go player, what caused him to beat the AI and defy all expectation was just basically a feeling that he had of like, okay, this feels right, I'm gonna play it. It feels right, it wasn't just luck. If it was just luck, he would have done it randomly without thinking about it, you know? But when people asked him like, oh, why did you play that one move? He was like, it felt like the only move that was available. And that's, hi Orange. Welcome Orange. So Ivan says, and that's just his theory. So I'm open to hearing different theories. And of course, after I'm gonna read through the comments, obviously, we'll talk about that. And then I wanna talk about the very strong criticisms I have of this video, this person as a whole, all of this. So Ivan says, I'm sorry, I've read that like 5 billion times. The End of Average is an interesting book. Sometimes averages are uninformative because people have a lot of variation across different contexts. Like how people can be introverted in some contexts and extroverted in others. And a single number can be misleading. Oh yes, I noticed this in myself too. The End of Average. Oh my gosh, wait, I'm gonna write that down. Here, hold on. Writing it down. Okay, excuse me, Tobi. I'm genuinely gonna read this book. I think that book is right up my alley. Okay, I wrote it down. How much value do you put on thought itself? I think that's a good question, Dom. I think that the concept is the higher you go up. So if that's a question for me, I'll give my opinion in a second. But in the terms of this framework, I think the idea is that the further up you go, the less thought matters. I mean, because you are a concept that continues over time, right? So the thoughts that arise in you are just things that you can either act on or not act on. They're just like, I guess, I'm not sure if that's a good explanation. That's kind of my perspective is kind of similar, where it's like a thought is something that you can either attach meaning to or not attach meaning to. But it doesn't make you who you are. A thought isn't yourself. Orange says, objectively, I spend a lot of time in research phase. Oh yes, the question of the day. I mean, many never progress past it. This never bothers me. I enjoy the exploration. Oh, thank you for giving your perspective. I'm glad that you find peace with that. Because I was talking about my art project and how it's been a little bit slow, but because sometimes what holds me back is the research and the preparing for doing something instead of actually doing something. The preparation. And when you don't have enough dopamine in the preparation stage of doing something, you might not progress past that. You might just like restart a new project, because restarting a new project does give you dopamine. Not that everything's based on dopamine, but it certainly feels like a lot of it is. Dopamine is very important. Dopamine's very important. Serotonin's very important. All the neurotransmitters are very important. Personally, I think serotonin is very important. I notice when my serotonin levels are not adequate and when they are very much adequate, and it makes a huge difference. Anyway. Dom says, I think thought has indispensable qualities, but in that you can ignore the everyday experience of unending useless thoughts that happen. And you ignore the everyday experiences of unending useless thoughts that happen. So earlier, Dom, we were watching a video from David Cho talking about making art. And he did a very good explanation of just like how many useless thoughts people can have and how you just need to be like, shut up. Like you just need it, not being kind to yourself, but sometimes you need to literally be like, shut up. And maybe that's like doing exercise that's so difficult you can't even think about those things. That's a kinder way than to be like, out. Sometimes I try and think really hard and be like, okay, I'm gonna will myself to not have these thoughts. That doesn't usually work. I don't recommend that. But what works without fail, time and time again, is doing a really hard exercise, or like doing a really, really intriguing art project, or like engaging with a really intriguing piece of media. That does it without fail. So I would recommend those things instead of just telling your thoughts to shut up. It's a kind of, I mean, it still shuts your thoughts up at the end of the day, but like in a kinder way. So, anyway, Eclectic says, my serotonin doesn't work properly, unfortunately, but I do my best by meditating daily and doing soft practices to help find my joy. I think acknowledging that is important. I think that, yeah, acknowledging that is important. Like, this is a necessary component of what, yeah. That's something that I've had to grapple with before, being like, naturally, I feel like I do have less serotonin than most people do. I try and do things to increase that, but fundamentally there might always be a deficit there. Maybe it's a genetics thing, I'm not sure. I think that we're trying to understand more and more of what creates mental illness and what, what causes those chronic deficits. And, I need to follow up on the research, but sometimes it does feel like that's just fundamentally the way my brain is built. Maybe you might, then again, I do like to believe that you can change your programming. You can change the way your brain is, your brain's changing the way it's wired all the time. But at the same time, I feel like there is a genetic component that's like, makes it, it just makes it harder. So, Dom says, sometimes if a thought grips me in meditation, I will think, not now. As in this time I set a time aside for meditation. I can think about that later. Yeah. Dom, I think I felt something kind of similar when I'm in a more meditative state. Being like, the thought arises, and it could be a useless thought or like a thought I don't want, an unwanted thought. And instead of being like, shut up, I'm in more of a space where it's like, okay, cool, you're here. Let's take you and we'll put you on a shelf for now. That thought does not need to be addressed right now. And I will address it later. That's a problem for executive functioning, Marissa. I like to compartmentalize myself into different pieces because I feel like that helps. Like the meditative state, the flow state, Marissa, that's one version. There's the executive functioning Marissa, which gets stuff done. She'll take care of that. You can be assured that she'll be taking care of that. That's not my responsibility right now. That's her responsibility. She's gonna take care of that later. That's kind of how I think about it. Eclectic said, sorry guys, there's gonna be an ad coming up soon. Sorry. I find that I do that too when the thoughts are struggling to go away. Dom says it feels more appropriate when a thought is just captivating instead of very negative. Otherwise, you could say, not now with strong aversion. And that's where the shut up comes in. Where you try, I have thoughts which I have strong aversion to. And I find that when I try and match that with the strong aversion, like the, ooh, no, that's disgusting. Or, oh, no, you shouldn't be having that kind of thought. When I get really agitated about it, it makes it worse. It all depends on how much weight you give your thoughts, and if you give certain thoughts more weight than others, then they're probably going to keep coming back. I have certain intrusive thoughts that I've literally had since I was a child, and I think the reason why they keep coming back every time, and they keep arising the same uncomfortable emotions within me is because I keep meeting it with the same energy every time. The same disgust, the same weight, power that I give it. I give it power. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry, bunny. Eclectic says, I have a couple mental disorders caused by CPTSD, so I understand why my wire is a bit off. Yeah. Understanding that is important. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go get some tea while the ad is going. I'll be right back. This will be a good, and so we can talk more later. When I get back from the ad, let's talk about some of the criticisms we have about this specific framework, because I think that's important. Okay, 1 second. Okay, we're back. So I noticed my camera is at 32%, so that's cool. Our camera might die, but whatever, it's fine. Let me think. Okay, wait. I could just like go charge it really quick and use this other camera while we're yapping about something. Okay, we're gonna do that. So it's me twice. Okay, one second. I'm gonna, I'm gonna charge this really quick and we'll use what the fuck is back there? That's a weird shape. Okay. Interesting. We're gonna do that so that she can charge, so we can have more of a, here, I'm gonna make myself smaller. What the hell? Okay. 1 second. Okay. We're gonna, oh, thank you. That's so nice of you. Yeah, I don't wear this dress that often, but I'm glad I did today. I'm getting so many compliments on it. You guys are so nice. So Dom said that situations like that, I think they're normally a lot to break down in the meditation. So I just try and break it up into the parts and notice those. Negative thought, aversion to the thought, feeling emotion in the body, aversion to the version, noticing. Dom, I think that noticing is a huge component of higher level thinking. Noticing and being able to withdraw and look at things from a higher, that's the whole definition of higher level thinking, is like being able to remove oneself from one's own thoughts and look at them in a more so that's why I enjoy this framework what that provides. Dom says, after negative thoughts, I try and settle back into the senses with mixed success, or I just notice all the layers are impermanent and momentary. And I think that's what this person is trying to say as well, with like the higher up you go, perhaps 8 or 7 or 8, it's where you notice that even your perspectives will change over time. Even yourself and how your subjectivity, that will change over time. And you're noticing all of that. And that can be kind of wonky to think of yourself as a concept instead of a person. I am a concept that continues that, but then you start to think about other people as that, and you're like, whoa. Okay, so I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure how deep I want to go into this, because I know it is a little bit of a triggering subject. So, if people are opposed to discussing politics, I will be making some mention of politics. We're not going to talk about what it's not going to be is it's not going to be a discussion of this politics is correct and this one's incorrect. That's not what discussion we're going to be having. We're going to be having a discussion of politics as a whole, in general, with trying our best to not incorporate personal and identity into it. But also, if your thing is not that, then feel free to skip this part. I just think it's useful because this person incorporates politics into his videos, so we might as well conceptualize that. He incorporates in politics, but in other ways he doesn't. I don't think he's trying to, but he kind of does subconsciously. So, I thought this was cool. I thought this was interesting. But there were a few things that I saw that, I don't know, man, it just kind of held me back. He has this diagram here. Well, first of all, the YouTube channel is called Ho Math, okay? I'm suspending. I'm trying so hard. Because what is higher level thinking about? Oh yeah, it's about suspending my own personal politics. Oh, math, what the fuck? Hi DCI. Okay, let's just jump right in. So we have this diagram. I see this diagram. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. I'm trying to suspend my disbelief in that. You know, for example, you can say the word mankind, and I'm not somebody who gets offended by that and says, what about women? Womankind. I know that the utility of using the word mankind is free from politics in my view. So that's, I'm trying to apply that same thinking to this. I'm trying to say, okay, so yeah, he did put women down there below men. All right, maybe he just means metaphorically. Maybe he just means metaphorically that women are inferior. And I'm trying to approach this with a. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to gain more information. I think that's what higher level thinking is about. I mean, I don't know exactly, but I think higher level thinking is about like, okay, this is coming to me, it's rubbing me the wrong way. We're basically trying to employ his same framework to like, okay, this information's coming in, it's rubbing me the wrong way, but you know what? Maybe he didn't mean it that way, so I'm gonna continue watching. I'm not gonna let my personal issues get in the way. And so I think about it, I'm like, okay, well maybe that's just the words he chose to use for, it's just the words he chose to use. It doesn't have any sort of like meaning of like, oh, women are inferior. But then you approach it with like, okay, let's gain some more information here. Let's bring in some more information. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna look at what other videos this person is putting out to gain a better picture. And I feel like that's how you look at anything critically, right? Whenever I like to read a work, like a historical or like scientific or whatever work, I like to look at the person who did the science or who made the claims and see what kind of person are they? Did their biases perhaps influence what they created? And so I came to his YouTube and, I saw these videos that are here and I'm starting to build a more complete picture of what's going on here. So a lot of what he does is he kind of criticizes women on TikTok and specifically women. And I think the whole point of the YouTube channel is to explain. You guys ever feel like you see something on your YouTube feed and you're like, wow, I think I discovered something that I wasn't supposed to see. Like, ooh, we're getting a new, because it doesn't happen very often. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, oh, this was not intended for me at all. Oh wow, this is completely different than what I ever thought was, So I was watching the video and I was like, oh, these ideas are interesting and cool. And then halfway through the video, he injects some of his personal politics about how he views. I need to like go back and find the diagram that he has, but it's about conservatives and liberals. And again, I want to remind you, this is not a space for us to say which one's right, which one's wrong. I don't like doing that in this space. But at one point in the video, he was going over, and this is the way the liberals think. And it took me aback, because he was saying that all liberals think in these lower levels. And I was really shocked by it. I was like, oh, that's so interesting. I wasn't getting that at all from him up until now. That, I don't know, people just surprise you, you know, with the kinds of ideas they form. Because it's interesting, in my own personal relations with people, I'm hearing a lot of, just the people I engage with, I'm hearing a lot of things from more left-leaning, more liberal, and that's just because of naturally who I engage with. Not saying that it's one's right and one's wrong. And it's interesting because their narrative's kind of the same. It's about how, all conservatives are idiots. They have they have zero brain cells. It's funny. I went to lunch with my parents, and my dad made a claim like that, where it was like, basically like, conservatives equals idiots. And I've been hearing that for a long time. I've been hearing that narrative for a long time. But then I watched this video, and I was like, he made the exact same claim except for liberals. And I was like, oh wait, the other side is doing the exact same thing that this one side is doing. That's interesting. Both sides think they are equally intelligent. And politics is the easiest way to hate half the population. Right. I know this is an uncomfortable topic to discuss. So I don't blame anybody for not wanting to engage with it. It's just I thought it was so fascinating because it seems to me like that kind of undoes everything that he outlined in his, because he does these diagrams of like how certain things are morally incorrect and morally correct depending on what circumstance they're in, and you know, people who are in lower level thinking, they don't even consider other people's perspectives, and I do agree with that. But then he goes on to he only brings in anecdotes and evidence from one side. And now this is not me saying, oh, how dare you go against the liberals and how dare you criticize that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I thought we were trying to develop something objective here. Why are you only bringing in one side of the story? You know, that's what I have a problem with, because I think that you know, so in the beginning, that's when he says like, which side is never wrong, and then he said it's the liberals. Like, okay, all right. I like sometimes, I don't know, people just surprise you. They think that they really can figure it all out, but then it's interesting to see them undo basically everything they work towards. And at the end of the day, we are just humans. Exactly, Tweet. We're all deeply flawed. And so I very much disagree with a lot of his opinions and ideas, but I think I will still, I did take some meaning from this video, and I'm gonna hold on to that, regardless of what his intention was with it. I'm still gonna take it for myself and for my own value, but I probably won't watch any more of his videos. But I personally, I feel like this kind of approach is necessary to things like politics and, you know, like it's just, it's so hard, you guys. It's so hard. I really wish that all this would stop. This side is, they're an idiot because they're this way. This group of people, they're stupid, because they, one feature. It's like, how could you possibly categorize that many people under one identifier? It's not something I agree with. But anyway. Dom says, that's why I think it's better to learn from people than AI, because you can get to know their personalities and biases, things like that. Yeah. learning from people, gaining new information, gaining new, approaching things from curiosity. That's what I always try to do. Because I do want to be a better person. I do want to be someone who, let me see if this works. Okay, we got our, oh my god, did that even charge? Whatever, it's fine. Our camera's still at 36%. It is what it is. It is what it is. We're gonna put it back. Let's see if we can finish this game. Hold on. Why is that behind my... Oh, there we go. Okay. I do wish people would approach things with more patience than they do currently. And perhaps with more trying to be a bit more objective. It's hard. I mean, I won't lie. Like, if somebody says something that rubs me the wrong way, it does affect how the rest of the things they say come across to me. And he did start in the very beginning of his video with some imagery that conveyed to me that he thinks that women are inferior. And so I hear something like that and I'm like, ooh, okay. I'm still listening, but it's hard. It's hard for me to be listening right now. But I'm trying to be better at being like, trying to listen anyway. Dom says, I thought they studied it, and intelligence doesn't predict Republican or Democrat. I believe that. I believe that, Dom. There's so much more to intelligence than I think we understand. People can have very specialized intelligence, and perhaps what they mean when they say, hey, this other side, they're not intelligent. I think what is happening, this is my theory at least, is that there's very different pigeonholes of intelligence that have been formed that don't communicate with each other, and so therefore they don't understand the value of each other. And so it then equates to non-intelligence on the other side. The non-existence of intelligence. Hi QB, welcome. Ivan says, in my opinion, we should not make a false equivalence between two political parties / affiliations. What is a false equivalence? What do you mean by that? Let's see. Eclectus says, being patient with people who are ugly on the inside isn't necessary. Right. I guess what I would say is, can we recall, how do we know that somebody, and this is not me challenging you, it's just me trying to work through and think about it. How do we know that somebody's ugly on the inside, for sure? Is it that their story doesn't match up with ours, that we have a story of what ugliness looks like, and they happen to fit that description? I don't know. But yeah, I realize that it is a very divisive topic. So, but I want everybody to know that no matter what opinion you have, you know, I would like to approach it with curiosity instead of shutting it down. Sometimes it feels like I shut things down and I don't mean to. But something I'm trying out these days is trying more of a like, oh, tell me more about that. Instead of making a quick judgment about something. QB says, I had an art challenge I gave myself to do. I got caught up in researching how to go about doing it so much that I never really ended up putting it to use and actually going about making the art in question. Oh, literally. QB, that's why I asked the question of the day, because I get so I get so caught up in that stage every time. And that's what often holds me back. It's like wanting to do it the right way the first time. And when it doesn't work out, then okay, Ivan says, it just politics, both parties are the same, is a false equivalence. Right, I would say another false equivalence would be like saying, oh, they're this party, so therefore they think blank. I guess that's what I'm getting at. And eclectic, I do agree that things such as morality, sexism, racism, those are non-negotiables. I guess what I'm trying to say is people get in these ideas of like, oh, because they are part of this particular group or party, that means they automatically believe this, by association. And I would challenge that and say, maybe not necessarily. But yes, if people present that to me, like that they are, if they believe those certain things that you mentioned, if they embody those qualities, then yeah, they're not, you don't need to be as patient with them, because they've already made their decisions on how they think about things. Ivan says, because they are irrationally saying women are inferior to men, that's a sign that someone is ugly on the inside. QB's no, you don't have to apologize for that, QB. I have plenty of walls. This is a wall of text friendly channel. Feel free to give your opinions here. So QB said, I find very few people ugly on the inside, but those I deem fit for the label earned it by behaving maliciously towards those that did nothing to deserve that kind of treatment. Oh, an example. I gave 110% of my effort into making a partner happy that I had been with for 10 years. I was rewarded with her cheated on me with a coworker. I'm sorry to hear about that. At the job I got her in the first place, I ended up quitting my job for my own peace. And yeah, I'd say she is ugly on the inside for that. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Another wall of no. I appreciate all that. I appreciate you sharing that example. And I agree, in that case, yeah, it was good that that person is no longer in your life anymore. Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. But yeah, I also find few people to be that way. I try my best to try and understand where people are coming from. But you can only be so accommodating, right? You can only be so accommodating before it just it eats away at you, right? It either eats away at you or someone else, and that's when it's not helpful. Don't tell me I'm stuck again, you guys. Oh my god. No. Okay, 5. That's a 5. Oh, 5. Right here. Refly says, the older I become, the more I realize that you have to judge people on their actions and not their words. Yes. Oh my gosh, Refly, I completely agree actually. Because people can say really stupid shit. and being in close relationships with people will reveal that to you. The people, when they're emotional, or when they're delusional, people can get delusional or emotional. They will say really stupid shit. But sometimes you learn that the stupid shit they're saying is not always with bad faith or like ill intention, if that makes sense. Maybe they're just saying that because they're hurt and they're unable to process their own emotions, and ultimately they might want the same thing as you at the end of the day. They just don't know how to communicate it properly. I find that I say a lot of really bad things out of anger, and that's a problem. But luckily I've found people in my life who will stay with me even if I say certain things. They'll be like, okay, are you done? I'll be like, letting them have it. I'll just like let it all out. And they'll realize that when I was in that state, like I was very emotional and letting it cloud my judgment and my, and they recognize that doesn't define me. What one or two things I say in passing or in emotion doesn't define me as a whole, as a person. One thing I would pose is, actually, let me continue reading. Collector says, I have patience and grace with people until they speak loudly with poor morals. Ivan says, if someone is kind and behaves nicely in their personal life and in their community, but supports war crimes, racism at a national level, intentional cruelty at a policy level, are they ugly or not? Sorry, I'm really trying to think about that one. Who am I to say that someone is ugly and someone's not ugly? I don't know. I'm not God. But I get what you're saying. That's really hard because I really want to say, yes, that makes them ugly. And yes, they are ugly, but maybe they can change? I don't know. Hopefully they can change. People may be ugly, but I like to believe that fundamentally people can change from their ugliness. And that's what I'm trying to hold on to. It's like, I can change them. Ugliness is not objective, it's subjective. Yes, okay. Then yes. Ugly is in the eye of the beholder. This is a really difficult dynamic to deal with. I mean, let's see, I'll think of an example. I have people in my life who, Scrooge changed, yeah, exactly. I have like family members who, their politics very much do not align with mine, and that is difficult to navigate. To see them supporting certain political figures who their association, their support of that almost, it's easy to make that assumption that, because they supported this one political candidate, that means they are racist. That means they are this. And I don't know, it's a really tricky, I don't have a solution. It's something I'm still working through. I just know a lot of people are hurting right now, and I wish I knew how to make it stop. I wish I knew how to make it stop. I don't. I'm trying my best to be be my idea of a good person, and that can be enough. I shouldn't like try and I can't change anybody else or their behavior. But at least I can make myself Can we please get the Walmart yodeling kid in here? What makes you say that? Oh, do you need a distraction? Is that why? He's too old now, it's not the same. Let's see. Eclectic says, I understand the stance of who are we to judge, but the world doesn't really revolve that way. We have friends and loved ones that we surround ourselves with. We wouldn't choose a morally ugly person naturally. I chronically, this is just my personality. I have the chronic opinion that I can fix people. I'm trying to let that go. But I have a feeling that it will persist. It will persist in my life. So I'm trying to embrace it, I guess. But a fundamental part of my personality is also that trying to be diplomatic. And that's ultimately what I want to be as a diplomat. I want to try and again, then people are gonna be like, who are you to say what's right? And I know, okay? I just fucking wish that all this pain would stop, okay? Like, that there's something I could fucking do about it. That's what I wish. So, anyway. That's it. Maybe we could think of something else to talk about. Because I know people won't agree with my perspective. But that's my perspective. Going to the supermarket seems like such a thrill there. Will I make it home without a gunshot in my body? Will there be yodeling in aisle 4? Yeah. Yeah. America is tricky. It's a tricky, it's interesting too when I travel to China and see their perspective on America, see the rest of the world's perspective on America, and how a lot of our environment has shaped our turmoil that we're currently experiencing now. I think the turmoil that we're experiencing now is perhaps, now we're getting into theory territory. Oh no, conspiracy theory. Man's belief that we can transcend our nature. And I think that's a delusion. Man cannot transcend their nature. That's one reason why I love that Studio Ghibli movie I watched yesterday. What was it called? Wait, I know this. It was Nausicaa. I love that movie. It was so good. And one reason why I really liked the protagonist was because she was not free from flaw. She was a pacifist. So if you guys haven't seen the movie, this isn't like a massive spoiler, I don't think, but it's a little spoiler. So she ultimately wanted to make sure that the harm being done in her area was being reduced and that people would stop fighting. And a lot of it was parallels to like the Cold War and nuclear weapons and how those are being fought over. And then there's a symbolism of the earth and nature fighting back against all this pollution and destruction caused by nuclear weapons. But what I like about her is that she was this pacifist saying all the time, guys, hey, is it safe to unmute? Sure. Oh, you don't want any spoilers. Oh, okay. Well, she wanted everybody to stop killing each other. But in one crucial point in the movie, She had a very emotional event happen to her, and she ended up killing a lot of people. She killed a lot of people. And I'm glad they put that in there because when certain survival instincts are triggered in humans, I don't think that anybody's above that. I like how they depicted that. Like, you might have these ideas in your head of like, yes, I'm a pacifist. Yes, I want to make the world a better place and people need to stop killing each other, stop all this killing. But when that one event happened to her, she was not immune to that. She was not immune. Okay, I'm done. There. Spoiler alert. QB says, I get anxiety when I go because it's so crowded and I can't handle people constantly behind me with their carts. Like, I can't stop and just look at something. It feels like I'm on the freeway trying to pull over. That's true. I mean, yeah. I try and go to the supermarket on like weekday mornings, and that's usually a little bit better. But if you go on there on weekends, good luck. Collective says, I yap all day on stream about these topics. The great thing about our channels being our channels is we can start any conversation and end any conversation whenever we need to. Yeah, I don't want anybody to feel that after this conversation, you know what? I can't control what other people are gonna think. What's running through my mind though is that people are gonna take away from that conversation that I believe, and I take one side. And the truth is I take no side. I take no side. And I'll try and keep hammering that in. But I think that according to certain people, taking no side is taking a side. And that's like a whole thing. That's like a whole thing. Oh my god. Okay. Good thing I can't lip read. Don't worry, I'm done. You're a chronic crier, so I've avoided Studio Ghibli because I will be put in a depressive episode. Oh, that's fair. The next movie I was going to watch was going to be Grave of the Fireflies. That one's also about war, and apparently that one's really realistic. So therefore tragic. So maybe one day I'll watch that one too, when I'm in the right headspace. I need to be in the right headspace for that. I don't shy away from media just because it makes me feel uncomfortable, but I mean, it's valid to not want to subject yourself to certain media if you don't want to. That's just my personal opinion, is that sometimes I allow things in that make me uncomfortable. Eclectic said, oh, I avoid any war cinema due to my dad being in the military and I have some trauma from his deployments. Oh, that's fair. Yeah. Different people have different things that they can handle. And it's up to you to set your boundaries for what you want to bring in. Tweet says, my Neighbor Totoro is the only movie that's just cute, no plot. Yeah. Yes, they do not shy away from difficult topics. Absolutely not. And that's what I love about that. I was shocked that the movie was PG. I was like, this is dark. And although I think most kids a lot of it would go over their head. But watching it as an adult, I was like, wow, okay, this is pretty realistic for how things happen in the world. A little bit disillusioning at times. Have I seen Giovanni's Island? I have not seen that. What's that about? Oh, it's another animated film. Japanese animated historical drama. Let's see, what's it about? World War II, invasion of the islands by the Soviet Red Army. The family is forced to move to the stables, while the Russian commander's family move into the main house. Oh, interesting. So another kind of post World War II movie. Yeah. Yeah. So you like that one then? Based on my expressions, it's a good movie. It is a good movie, yeah. Another good one is Princess. Oh yes, I've heard of that one. The only ones I've seen have been The Secret World of Arrietty and Howl's Moving Castle. I love that one. Howl's Moving Castle is so romantic. I love that movie. Anyway, so. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is approach everything with curiosity and not fear. Actually, David Cho has another video on, he was like, make art out of curiosity, not fear. And I agree with that. I think we could all do with more of this and less of that. That's my personal opinion. That's what I'm going to be doing. Nobody else has to do that, but that's what I'm going to be doing. What? That's number 2. Okay. 5. I'm just yelling out numbers at this point. 5. 8. Why is this game? This game is impossible, dude. Let's see. 1. Yes. Okay, there's a 1 here. Victory is near. I hope so, Dom. Wait, what bamboo one? Where? This is a bamboo one. Oh, shit, you're right. Yeah. Nice job. Well, I can't control anybody else or their perspectives. But what I can control is my own. How I act and how I present myself and how I put energy out into the universe. I know that sounds very new age. I'm putting out the energy into the universe. Good energy and bad energy. 5 people just left. Just kidding. Kiwi said, great. Now I'm wondering if there's a DeviantArt page with Mononoke in a bikini. That might be enough internet for the day. Well, there probably is. Dom says it's all vibrations, man. Yep. It's all vibrations. You feeling the vibrations? Oh my gosh. That was stressful, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I could ever do one of those like political debate. Well, I said this already. I was like, I could never do one of those political debates because I would just crumble. I'm typically not in it to win. I'm typically in it to just express express what's inside of me until it's done being expressed. And then I let the other person win. The key is to not let the person extra win, because when you let the person extra win is when you break down into tears. And then they proceed to take you even less seriously than they took you seriously before. That's the problem, too. Good Vibration starts playing. Yep. I'm not seeing anything, you guys. This might be it. What time is it? Oh, it's 3:16. Yeah, I've been going for a bit. I'm going to yoga tonight, so I gotta get ready for that. Oh my gosh, you guys, I finally got a yoga towel. It's been amazing. This whole time I've been like slipping and sliding on my mat, and I've been afraid that I'm gonna injure myself. But now that I have the mat and I, spritz it with some water, it makes it a lot more comfortable. Cause like there's certain poses where I like downward facing dog, or like you flip over and do wild thing, where if you flip when your mat is slippery, then you're gonna have a tough time. 4 green circle. Oh, you're so right. Wait, and then that reveals this. Ooh, okay. Okay, we're not stuck completely yet. Is there a 4? I don't see a 4 anywhere. That's a 2. 4. Okay, we're stuck again. I really wanna do these two. Oh, you banned him? Banned. I don't know that artist. So I'm not sure, I'm not filled in on what the details are. Oh shit, look. That didn't really do anything, but it removed 2 of the pieces off, so that's cool. Should we use our 1 cheat? Let's do a freebie. Okay, you're right. What freebie should we do? That's the problem. I feel like I want to remove maybe one of these ones that's like in the way, but I could do these 2. Like, okay, freebie. Woo! And now these are all free, technically, under the rules of the freebie. Yes. Okay. You didn't see any of that, okay? Nothing, that didn't happen, right? There. I don't think that really even helped. Oh my god, that didn't help. Oh. Wait, okay, wait. Like we said, oh, so back in the 80s, he beat a Vietnamese man almost to death, as well as another Asian man, and he would throw rocks at black children and yell slurs at them. Ooh. Yeah, in a case like that, then I would probably not be able to separate the art from the artist. I don't know. I just want to see what's under here. See, that wouldn't even help. Even if we moved that, that wouldn't have helped us. Dang it. Okay. I guess that's it. Bunny has to go. Have a great stream. I'll let you know when I'll be streaming again. Thank you. Yes, feel free to post in my self-promotion next time you stream. Thank you so much for being here. What's below the 8 circle? Oh, I already removed it. Yeah. Dang it. Okay, you guys. I think that we are going to conclude. I think it's time to conclude. That took a lot out of us, not gonna lie. Every time I have a kind of a more difficult discussion, it does take a lot out of me. Because I want to make sure that I approach things rationally. I don't know. With attention, with the attention and love that they deserve. I guess. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Let's raid somebody, shall we? Let me see who's on. And also my camera's gonna die, so there's that. Be nice to the people around you. Send love wherever you can. Love and light, you guys. The love and light is back. I said I was gonna listen to angry hippie music now. I changed my mind. We're listening to love and light again. Love and light. Whether we like it or not. Okay, nobody's streaming, you guys. If you have any recommendations for people to raid, if not, we're probably going to end. Unless somebody else is playing Mahjong. Nobody else is playing in real life Mahjong. We could look at the philosophy tag. Let me look at the philosophy tag. Interesting. Okay. You guys, it's feeling like a non-raid day today. So, thank you again for being here. I hope you have a good day and sending you a lot of love. And I hope that. Thank you. Everyone have a wonderful day. I hope. See you next time. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye, Dom. Bye, Eclecte. Bye, Tweet. Bye, Bunny. Bye, Refly. See you. Bye.